DC Comics has apparently learned nothing about convoluted events. And here we go again. One more absolute universe crazy thing, which is spinning out of this, spinning out of that. You have to read this to understand that. And wow, we're in 2025, and I'm confused. I don't know about you. I like the manga way of doing things, my friends. And, you start with volume 1 is a lot easier than any of this stuff. But this is how far they've gone. And a lot of the confusion problems they brought upon themselves intentionally because, we got to restart it with the all-new collector's edition #1 to try to, drum up the sales again, like they did with Absolute Batman. Absolutely crazy. And so DC has a massive problem because to understand all this, you need to have read Absolute Power. Then you get the DC All-In special. Then you read the Absolute Universe. Then you see what's happening on the opposite side with the Justice League and all this stuff. And then it's going to spin into an event that combines all the other stuff. You better have read all of this stuff. Otherwise, it's just gobbledygook to you. And this is where we're at today as they're relaunching the Justice League yet again with a new Mark Waid introduction and all this stuff. It's going to be crazy. We'll get into it in just a moment and let you know why this is such a failed example of where comics need to change once again. Please smash that like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things in comic books. Really appreciate you guys for being there. You can start with my all-new #1. It's pretty simple. Volume 1 of Flying Sparks right here. Very easy to get into, and you can get into it for free. This is the best deal in all of comics. Just sign up for my newsletter. It's in the description below, and you can get my books right here. We have a bunch of books on Amazon as well. You can check them out if you want to do that, and of course, you can grab my books from my online bookstore if you want to continue the series as well. Makes it very, very easy to follow along, and thank you guys so much for reading. It's been amazing this year. We've just crushed it, and it's all because of readers like you. We appreciate you. So, DC Comics. Here we go. As Bleeding Cool has noted, every DC Comics title as of late seems to find a reason or refer to the new Justice League base, Watchtower satellite, from which the Justice League Unlimited looked down upon all humanity like gods. Very weird deal. But some titles, it seems, are more Justice League than others. A double-page spread in an upcoming DC Comics reveals these 10 titles. You have to read 10 titles to understand this for the core reality books for the Justice League for DC Comics right now. So here's what you need to read to understand Justice League as they're launching this new Justice League Unlimited. Oh, so painful. So you have to read Superman. You have to read Green Lantern, The Atom Project, Aquaman, Titans, Justice League Unlimited, Justice League Unlimited, Black Lightning, The Question, Challengers of the Unknown, which don't even get me started on that bastardization, and The Flash. Absolutely crazy stuff. And this is just stuff that it's so painful. The question's not even the right question either. But DC Comics has just made everything completely unrecognizable and unreadable. They make it really, really difficult to follow with all these events and everything tying into everything else. It's no wonder Nothing But Batman sells, and that's exactly where they're at. Nothing But Batman sells. These stories can't stand on their own. These books don't stand on their own. They can't get anything done on this level, and they're making the same mistakes that you just saw in the 90s with big comics overreach crossover events that just stuck their little fingers into everything. You couldn't understand what was going on. I remember when DC first really went off the rails with this with 0 Hour in the early 90s. You guys remember that event? Oh my gosh. I didn't even know what to read. I understood that there was a 0 Hour main comic, which was 543210 or whatever. But they had all these tie-in comics, and some stuff happened in the tie-in comics and that got referenced barely in the books and things like that. Same thing with Absolute Power. You had to read 5 different miniseries just to understand the Absolute Power event that Mark Waid was writing. And that's why everybody was like, nah, I don't want to get in on this. It's too much. It's crazy. This type of thing just doesn't help whatsoever, and we don't like it. And that's why that event failed very, very badly. So they're basically turning Justice League, Mark Waid's new thing, into another DC Comics event. So since it failed last year, let's try it again, guys, but with more books. That's going to make things better. That's going to make comic readers happy. Like I said, they're making the exact same mistakes over and over and over again. They claim this is DC All-In. This is their last gasp effort to try to make things work. Before I don't know what happens, they're going to start maybe licensing out some of their properties and things like that. That's what I've been saying has been coming for a while. And of course, Absolute Batman getting a #1 that sold a bajillion copies because they had 18 billion variant covers. like made them emboldened, and they really thought that they're pushing somewhere exciting in a new direction when they're not. Like these restarts and these side universes and ultimate universes and absolute universes, Elseworlds is what they used to be called, are not new concepts. And even like this style of Batman that's going on is not a new concept. It's not inherently interesting. I mean, they're doing an okay job of it. Scott Snyder's a competent writer, so he does an okay job with it. And Nick DeGrota is a good artist, so he makes it look okay, even though it's a stupid concept. And that's what's carrying the line at this juncture. I don't know anybody that's talking about any of these books right here. Nobody's talking about one of these at all. It's a disaster for the line. This is them all in, but they just put the same writers across different books. Now, Aquaman and Green Lantern have a bit of a different thing going on. I do have a little faith in one guy that's been coming up for a while. His name's Jeremy Adams. I mentioned him in my Flash Gordon video because he's doing a good job on that as well. That guy seems to understand like fun superhero writing and actually is trying to like do something different. And he's not getting enough love out there at all from this companies. But, you know, those are the books really that are decent. I actually like Titans all right, too. It's written by my friend John Layman. Believe it or not, I read these. But the thing is, like, when I learn that it's all going to be tying into some master event that's going to be a big Mark Waid concoction, it makes me want to stop reading the titles that I do, because it's like everything that happens in those titles is not going to matter, because what's going to happen in the Justice League is going to impact those titles. They're going to have to change the writers. Some writers' teams are going to drop. It's just going to be a complete nightmare like it always is. Like I said, DC Comics just is all in on the stupidest idea, again, making a giant crossover when readers really do not want this anymore. What comics need to do is keep the book self-contained. At this point, there's no reason not to do so. If you want to have an event, do it. But like these little side tie-in sort of issues, which they use to pad out omnibuses and the like for both Marvel and DC, nobody likes them. Nobody wants to read them. Nobody wants those tie-ins. They don't help anything. And making main books into tie-ins in the middle of their story runs and interrupting their stories only ruins the books that are coming out there. This has been done time and time again, and this is part of the reason the comic industry is so exhausting and why they're losing readers at a rapid clip. But I guess it just means more for independent people. As this is happening, as the distribution crisis is actually causing a lot of problems where comic shops are losing money, this model is dead anyway. It's going to be going by the wayside in the next couple of years. You just can't stop it. There's too many death knells that are hitting over and over and over again, and this is just another example of that. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, my friends. Hit the like and subscribe button. Please sign up for my Flying Sparks. I sign up for my newsletter. Get Flying Sparks for free. Read all the volumes, guys. If you've already signed up, Flying Sparks has 6 volumes. Go get those because it picks up so good, and I really pay it off by the end. It's a wonderful series. But you can sign up here, and of course, very highly reviewed by readers as well. If you love classic DC Comics, you're going to enjoy this stuff, guys. Appreciate you for being there. We'll be back soon.